What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy, the YouTube champ, Tantalizing Tony. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. What's up, everybody? It's late. It's Tuesday night. It's a NXT kind of night. Yeah, Pastor, what's up? It's different. Jen, the lovely Jen. Mwah. Stephen Chambers, Eric Douglas. And that's everybody in the chat right now. Look, let's make it quick. Hit the likes. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Yes, yes, yes. Look, NXT is better than AEW. Back in the day, NXT used to suck. It does not. Now, it wasn't as great as last week. Stephen Chambers says NXT was a decent show, and it was. And I just want to say this. I didn't get to watch everything in its entirety just because of, stuff that was going on. But here's all this is the Cello Governor. This is the rundown, the breakdown, guys, of what happened. Forgive me. Look at what Kira did. Kira has all the deal. Look, first of all, I want to say this. We're going to jump around a little bit. Dragunov is the truth. Dominik versus Carmelo, not a bad match. Ended in DQ. If you think about it, Dominik just defeated the NXT champion. That's good for him. Hello, Facebook user, whoever you are. There was a lot of stuff going on tonight. I'm gonna tell you right now, NXT packs in a lot of stuff in 2 hours. What's up, Zubin? Stephen Chambers, I agree. I think Dragunov is winning the title, No Mercy as well. I think that works well. I think it even works into the Dominik storyline. But listen, the Global Heritage Cup is money. Will NXT be as good as one? So now, listen. Here's the thing. Yes, it will be. I think what they're doing is this. I think they're sprinkling in the main roster people to elevate these guys so people start watching the show like we've been doing. And I think we're going to get that feel of the old NXT. Listen, nothing's going to ever go back to the black and gold era. It's never going to happen. But it can get back to a level where it's enjoyable, the storylines make sense, and we tune in. Listen, let's talk about this match right here. This right here. The rivalry, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, also known as Butch. Butch gets the win. Blackwell, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you as always. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Anytime these two in the ring together, these guys go back to NXT, UK, Europe, whatever it was. It shows you that Pete Dunne needs to be the bruiserweight. Check your phone. Oh, okay. Let me check my phone. Oh, well, there we go. Give me a second, brother. Give me a second, my bro. ABJ's in the room, everybody. Say what's up to ABJ. I tried to call Ricky. I think Ricky went to sleep early tonight, guys. But I know Graves is doing a show shortly as well. Just bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. I'm trying to do this. My computer's been acting really weird. But anyway, listen, I wanted to say this to you guys. NXT does not suck. It used to. but that was quite good. There we go. What's up, Ricky? How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. Shout out to Ricky Salvador. He's a great follower. He follows Issa, the NYC Demon Diva, who kills it. But thank you for being here, Ricky. Appreciate it. Still not happy that Becky won. Now, listen, here's the thing about Becky. I know a lot of people aren't happy that she showed up, but it's good for the product. And ladies and gentlemen, everybody loves ABJ.
What's going on?
What's up, brother?
You got dark over there. You gotta turn some lights on, brother.
Well, listen, I switch up every now and then. It depends. Like, see, I
Oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah. It's sometimes when it's like late night. This is tantalizing after dark.
Oh, hey everybody, it's Tantalizing Tony after dark.
How's everybody doing? How's it doing? Hey, first of all, guys, you guys know how to follow ABJ. Follow him on all the social media stuff. But look, we haven't got a chance to talk publicly on the show. How was All In? How was England?
It was amazing. It was amazing. You know what's crazy is the narrative online that there wasn't as many people there as there was. Boy, is that a false narrative. That place was packed.
I could tell. Listen, there might be a difference between what they're saying between 81,000 and 72,000.
79,000. Listen, if it was 79,000 people, it felt like 112.
Listen, it looked good. It looked good on TV. Look, I've been to sellouts. I've been to WrestleManias where there's 90,000 people. It looked full to me. It looked like they did a great job. I love I think the entrance rate was awesome.
That was my only beef.
You didn't like it?
No. I wish it was on. I wish the beginning of the stage was on a lift. Even though we were a stone throw away from the ring, I watched most of the show on the Titantron above the ring because there was so many people I couldn't see over everybody and signs and everything like that. And the rampway was literally right to my right. But as soon as when the Big Show came out during the pre-show, I didn't even see his head.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I didn't see anything. And then the way production went there is all of the Titantrons above the ring would play like their picture, of the Titantron photo, and then across the stadium, across the very far side, there would be another Titantron, and it wouldn't kick on until they were about halfway down the ramp, about right to the point where they were entering like the ringside area. So I didn't see any entrances until they were done.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Other than that,
it was awesome, dude. I was in Wembley Stadium is a bucket list for me. I'm a giant, if there's an arena besides Madison Square Garden or the Hammerstein Ballroom, or pretty much they're my two big ones that I would just want to experience. Wembley was probably still number one.
They're both awesome. Hammerstein and Garden, of course, are awesome.
Yeah.
But it looked like Wembley was great. Look, you had a good time. Did you guys in England know of any of the CM Punk drama while you were there?
I didn't know about him being stuck in transit until with 2 days later or the day after the show. But the fist fight broke out by Sean Ross Sapp. That happened while we were sitting in our seats.
It's crazy.
I have a take on it, but I don't know if I don't want to deter you from NXT.
First of all, if everybody's here, they're here to listen to us talk. They saw the results of NXT. I just want to say NXT was solid. Give me 1 second. Look.
Yeah, finish your NXT bit and then we'll chat because I don't want to ruin the flow.
Listen, Roxanne Perez gets the win. This was a good match. Guys, realize this. Dominik Mysterio has beaten the NXT World Champion. Not by pinfall, but he's got to win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't have live TV right now, so I can't watch any live wrestling, which kind of sucks for me.
Tell me your story, bro. I want to hear this. Let's hear it.
So I know we disagree on the Punk situation going back to the press conference.
Well, not 100% because I get it. No, listen. If I remember correctly, you were like, "Hey, man, the guy's telling his truth. He's saying his point." Look, I've always said, look, Punk is polarizing, but he speaks his mind, and this is what has happened to him, and I get it. My only issue with Punk is that it might not even be Punk. It's more of Tony Khan not taking control of the press conference. But go ahead, go say what you got to say.
And when I say here, I'm not saying this that I'm anti one side and pro the other side. As performers, I like them all. I don't have a beef. I don't have a dog in the fight. I think at the end of the day, I think they're all good performers. But I don't think Punk is as much of the enemy as people are making him out to be. I think fandom is stepping in here, and I think people are more of a fan of the Elite than they are Punk. I think the Elite is more of the problem than Punk is. Every time Punk has stepped up and said something or has been considered a locker room problem, it's been at the benefit of obviously himself, but every single time he has spoke up and then left, it has changed for other people and his message got across and things have changed for other talent because of the things he's said. If you go back to the pipe bomb, his pipe bomb is essentially is a catalyst or a spark of how wrestling was and then how it changed. The Elite used that as a blueprint to start their company and realize that there's more fish out, there's more places that you can go and put your hard work into and lift up and make just as entertaining and make just as much money on that scene and not have to go the route of a WWE. And I think Punk was a huge catalyst for that. But I think when he went in there, I think he tried to do what a lot of veterans are trying to do backstage at AEW. I mean, it's not a secret. I'm sure if you talk to enough people, I know I have, talking to them, I was like, what would be your, like, you know more than I do. I get opportunities to sit and talk with, not as much as I used to, because I obviously know car and being stuck in my house, but like when I would help with meet and greets and I would sit with talent from AEW or people who have worked at AEW, one of the biggest complaints is a lot of these people who are seasoned veterans who have been in major locker rooms, who have been to some places. And I believe, like, if you even listen to Busted Open, Mark Henry has said this, is like, they're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like I prefer a Wednesday night over a Monday or a Friday only because I feel like the match quality is there. But also I understand that WWE's match quality is turned down because they are looking at it in a longevity standpoint and not a week to week standpoint. I think week to week wrestling, AEW is more entertaining than WWE because WWE just kind of gives you filler episodes to get you to a pay-per-view, where AEW fights every single week for your attention and they put more into their matches. But when they put more into their matches, they risk more injury. They risk more people getting hurt. They risk more people blowing themselves out, and which in turns into people being off camera because they're getting hurt. And I think a lot of the veterans are trying to tell them to slow down and do less and put more into the character and less into the performance. And I think a lot of those younger guys use Punk as that catalyst of saying, well, who the hell do you think you are telling us what to do? And I think Punk was legit trying to be a locker room leader. And for how many people say backstage he was a problem, there's just as many people backstage saying that what he said was good and they considered him a locker room leader. So I personally, I think when the press conference happened, I think he spoke his mind because he was getting his name thrown to the mud. So he had an opportunity to then defend himself, did so, went back to his locker room, had his door kicked in, and defended himself. They all got in trouble, but then they started taking shots at each other again. He then comes back, and immediately every single week, he has a new guy in his face and talking crap to him. At the end of the day, I thought Collision was a better show than Dynamite. I thought Collision was ran better. I liked the little vignettes. I liked the way the show flowed. And I think that ruffled feathers too. I think that they pretty much said, if you think you can do your own show, then do your own show. And him and Daniel Bryan booked a better show every Saturday night.
They did.
And then when he goes to Wembley, he gets off the airplane and there's no travel for him. How do you leave your biggest draw in your company at an airport and don't get him to where he needs to be? Yeah. I honestly think the Elite turned around and made it a horrible work environment for him. And I don't know if you've ever punched a time clock or kept going to your job where supervisors or people in power pick fights with you and make your job a living hell. But you, as a man, you can only take so much of that. And I think what happened was, I think he went backstage, or right before he went out to hit the curtain, he's already pissed because he was stuck in an airport. He's probably already pissed because all the other backstage stuff. It's building up. And CM Punk's not a chump. He's even win, lose, or draw, CM Punk's going to say what he has to say, and doesn't matter the consequences when it comes to the end of it. But he's going to tell you how he feels. He's not going to be fake about it. So he goes out and goes right before it hits the curtain, and Jungle Boy gets in his face and says, I use real glass. What are you going to do about it? And gets in his face. So CM Punk pushes him to get him out of his face. Jungle Boy attacks him, and Punk's the villain again here. It's like, bro, I don't want to walk through glass before I walk to the ring and do my match. Like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane to me that I think a lot of people are just so pro the Bucks and Elite that they just villainized. They listen to dirt sheets so much that they villainize this guy. I think they're both clearly in the fault, and I think they were both children in this situation. But I think the Elite were worse than Punk. The day Punk gets fired, the Elite go to Collision, the show they've never been to,
and do a victory lap and do a victory lap.
Then they did then they did the Being the Elite, where they made fun of them even more. And it's just like, my personal take, I think Jade's the first, and I'll tie this back in NXT here, but I think Jade's the first soldier across the line to be like, I think she went, yo, Punk was helpful to me. And she said this publicly. Punk was someone she looked up to. And so has a lot of talent at AEW has said that. I think when contracts start going up, I think people are going to pick their sides, whether they're going to be the Elite or they're going to be Punk. And I think WWE, regardless of what they're saying, Punk's coming back.
Oh, 150%.
If you think Punk's not coming back to WWE,
you're crazy.
You're insane.
You're nuts. First of all, there's so much money on the table for him. Look, Punk does business. Punk doesn't care about wins and losses. Look, he's putting Ricky Stark over. If you notice that, Ricky Stark was becoming
Ricky Stark's going to be WWE soon.
100%. Cody's his boy. And listen, but here's the issue. I think this is speculation, but if you saw the Cody Rhodes documentary, I don't know if you did.
No.
Cody Rhodes said he had a personal problem with somebody. And I think it might have been Punk. So we're going to see that hashes itself out. Because
I don't think Punk was the problem.
He wasn't there yet, but I think there might have been rumblings that he was coming. I don't know. But
you know who I think his personal problem was with?
Tony Khan?
I think the Elite.
Well, maybe. Not
because if you remember when they first left, they took shots of him on their Twitter and their bios and saying, you know, you left out like I think the Elite are very transparent in what they say, even they say it cryptically. I think they realize that I think Cody wanted a vision for his character, and I think Cody got a little selfish when it came to his character in AEW and had a little, and he tried to say that he wasn't using his power and his authority, but he was, and I think it rubbed people the wrong way. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is going to be the first line in the sand where both companies are going to do it. I don't agree with you that I think AEW is going to go away or it's going to disappear. AEW has too much money, and if a company like Impact still sticks around, I think AEW will lose some fan base, and I think it'll lose some viewership, and I think it'll lose the arenas and have to go to smaller venues. But I don't think I think AEW will revert back to a smaller company.
But see, and that's a loss to me. You can't.
But I don't think they're going to go away. I think there's too much money and ego involved, and I think they will be another version if they don't turn things around and figure out how to bounce back soon. I think they're going to become a situation where they might be on more of a TNA level or an Impact level,
which to me is a loss in starting so big. Look, you get 73,000, 81,000, whatever this is right here, whatever this is, it's a win for them. To have to go to a smaller venue and to downsize is a big loss. They may not die completely, but listen, at this point, I'm over AEW. I think I agree with you. Collision was definitely a better show, and like Steven Chambers said, it had Saturday Night Main Event vibes. I love the beginning vignettes with the music. I was like, oh my god, this is great.
I just love the quick tonight. I'm gonna beat you up. Yeah, I thought that was. That's pro wrestling. That's what I was waiting to hear the music.
Dun, 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 dun. It was so good, and but I will. This might shock you. I think Punk's at fault, but not totally.
I think it's a 70. I think it's a as close to a 50-50 as you're gonna get.
But my thing with Punk is this: Punk when Punk made the first statement, I work with children.
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong. Children don't grow. Children don't grow up in a year.
No,
they're just bigger kids. And when you have a bigger kid, you have a bigger kid that can figure out how to be even more mischievous because now he's smarter.
Yeah.
Look, it's been said time and time again, the Bucks to me are little children. I don't put Kenny Omega as much as fault. He just goes with the flow. But I will say Punk should have known better. He should have known he's come back to it. He should have collected his money and then got out of there.
Yeah.
I think Tony Khan is the main problem. I think Tony Khan is a moron.
Yeah, I think he needs to delegate more. I think he needs to let more
He's never
people
going
run.
to do it. He's
Yeah.
look. It's like, look, I'm too much of a fan to run a wrestling company because I'm always going to think, oh, let me do this. He's too much of a fan,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that being a fan. But you got to, like you said, delegate. He's got to take himself out of stuff. Look, he basically was kissing CM Punk's butt the whole time. Like during the press conference, he's apologizing. You're the boss.
Yeah.
You never see Vince apologizing to nobody.
But you also don't see Vince. You know what I mean? Like, I listen, at the end of the day, we can say Tony Khan is doing everything wrong, but Tony Khan did a lot in a little time. And if we're gonna cast stones here, I mean, you're looking at AEW, who's on the rise, and Vince McMahon and the McMahons, who are in the neck deep in allegations and scandals and sexual allegations and NDAs and everything as bad as possible as you can be. When that dark side of the ring comes out, whoo boy, that's gonna be a dude. It won't come out until Vince dies, because they'll have enough respect for him in this business to not bury him until he's gone. But boy, when that story gets told, it's going to be bad.
I think that's why part of the sale went through too.
Oh, 100%. The sale went through to save that company, and because people know that's brand, that's on brand. Like when people think pro wrestling, they think WWE. You don't let Coca-Cola go out of business, and the smart business guys are going to say, this guy might be a problem, but we can still salvage this name and make money off of it. And that's essentially where WWE is right now. But at the end of the day, like, we don't like the idea of WWE is going to change rapidly. It's going to change. Hold on a second. TK collects wrestlers as Pokemon cards and doesn't know what to do with them. And now most of us top star are seeing bigger picture and going to WWE. I agree but disagree, because at the same time, WWE was doing the same exact thing. The only difference is WWE was taking them so they couldn't work against them and paying them money to sit in catering, where at least AEW is trying to put them in storylines and use them with AEW was trying to be the place where the young talent can come in and rise. And then they got thrown a whole bunch of talent that were fired from WWE and said, boy, we have some opportunities here to do some things. And they did impulse hires and brought them in, because if we're just play NFL manager right now, if a top quarterback enters the free agency, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go, well, will he fit our culture? Well, they do personality tests on all the top talent. And they say, will they fit the culture? They'll ask around, like, is this guy a problem? Is this thing good? Will he fit in with this person? Is their egos in check? And they do all of that. But CM Punk AEW is, we got to go now. We're hiring's hot. So they bring all these personalities in. And if Tony, more than anybody, when you get behind the curtain at a wrestling show, it is just filled with egos. Everyone's got an ego. It's egos everywhere. And not every ego gets along. You know what I mean? What we're saying is all the negative things about AEW. WWE also has those problems, because we live in the world of professional wrestling.
But the thing that what WWE does better is they manage it better, and they keep stuff in the wraps a little better. Stuff comes out, but look, let's use the Matt Riddle thing as an example. That's going to get swept under the rug, because he's making allegations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that
Darby stuff all got swept under the rug.
Well, true. My thing is this. And I'm so glad you're here because your take's good. I got won over by a lot of people saying, look, man, think about it from CM Punk's side. My issue is that I liked CM Punk as a performer, and he was better for the business. He helped AEW. He made them legitimate. And my thing with him was, he should just let it go. And I know it's hard to say, because as men, how much can you take?
I relate too much to that situation, so I can't do the let it go thing. If I see some injustice, I talk about it.
No, I agree. And it made me think about, maybe this guy.
There's a reason why I'm not working in as many promotions as I worked at one point in time.
No, I get it. And trust me, I know where you're coming from. And some of these same promotions, I don't work for anymore. Listen, I get asked to come to a lot of places, bro. And if I see a certain person in there that I don't mix with, I'm like, I'm not going there. Look, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm doing way better than I was doing a year ago when it comes to my channel and my content.
I wish I was. My personal life has ruined my content and my growth. You know what I mean? But listen,
I had some personal issue too. We talked about mine too. Um,
I live in a tiny coal hole where I have no public transportation or no way to get anywhere, and I'm just stuck with no ride and no job. It's tough. It's fucking tough. Oops, sorry to be the curse. It's
it's
tough.
okay. No, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're not doing as Suplex Vintage.
Well, I'm doing that, but I was going to start in the beginning of the new year and go out there and do more, but like I don't want to get out there and go live in Philly. And if I get something goes wrong or something happens, like I have no way to leave Philly and get in a car and come home. If something like Saturday, I was gonna get a ride to Hamburg. I was hanging out there at the house, and my mom comes up and says, "Your grand got dizzy, and she's white as a ghost, and we're gonna rush her to the ER." So that was my Saturday, was get my grandmother to the car and worrying if she was gonna, like, 'cause that's my only grandparent I have left. But
Right.
like I'm at a point now where my dad's no longer around. My mom's here by herself with her mom,
Mhm.
her gram, and my brother's out of the area. So like, if I go to Philly and something happens, like I don't have a car to get back to make sure people are all right, and
I got
that
you.
kind of bothers me, you know.
No, trust me, I know what you mean. I'm going through some stuff too, and I got some news today that was mind blowing. I'll tell you off camera. I'll tell certain people in my circle, but it's like no, people don't realize it's tough. Trying to do this and keep your family
And
together.
chase your dreams, yeah.
Yeah, but I learned this: chase your dreams no matter what. The people that they're either gonna roll with you, or they're gonna rock with you, and not gonna rock with you. You like
Yeah,
it's tough, but this is my dream. I got stuff coming up. I have big things coming up, major announcements coming in within the next few months. I mean, like game changers.
nice.
If I tell you the context I made this past weekend in Hamburg, and the people that want me to do stuff, listen, bro. I'm picking and choosing what I do, and I'm taking my time because I was such in a rush before. Like, oh, I don't care, mama, 7,000, 10,000. I want to hit it. It's coming. It's gonna come in due time. I'm not making any rash decisions. If that's the case, I would have stayed out in Detroit. I had an opportunity to do something in Detroit and stay out there and make some real money. I said, nah, I'm coming home. But listen, in case you guys didn't see NXT, good show. Becky Lynch, what's the name? Lyra Valkyria. They tag team. They beat Stratton and Kiana James. It was a good, solid show. But I want to say this to you. You're always welcome to come on.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, I
and
know. That's why I sent you a message. Like, yeah, I have nothing else going
yeah,
on,
I
so
don't
I'm going to
for
chat.
some reason I don't see my message. Just weird. But it's crazy because last night Savage was on with Graves, and we had such a good, it was like a good panel. It was such a good um conversation. And I want to do more of that because I want more people's opinions of the climate of professional wrestling. Where's it going? Have you had a chance to see the documentary with the Al Snow thing on Netflix?
I watched the first couple episodes. Yeah,
It's so slow, but it's
it's
good.
see, I seen how people say it's slow, but I'm gonna be honest, man. It from where I am right now in my mind state and where I am trying to chase my dream, and like it was so relatable. Now I don't wrestle, right? So that's not, I don't want to sit there and say that um I'm not a wrestler, but I feel I put just as much effort and energy at one point in time in this for at least 2.5 years, not being a wrestler and trying to overcompensate for that in other aspects, whether it comes to production or commentary or being a locker room leader or trying to do things that people in my position in this business just don't do. They kind of just stay quiet and they just keep their head down and keep moving. Um, and it was a little too relatable and it was a hard watch. It was not a hard watch as in a bad stamp. Like it's just heartbreaking because you put so much time and effort into things. And if like OVW is struggling on an independent level, could you imagine where everybody else is? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's hard. It's
People
hard
don't
to see the
realize.
light. It's hard to see the light at the end. That's why I'm so passionate about the independent wrestling scene, is because if that goes away, the fucking, like, sorry, cursing again, but the WWE and AEW and NXT are gonna hurt. Like, people need to realize people on this smaller level are your next steps up. You know what I mean? And like,
Mhm.
you gotta, it's just it's heartbreaking to see the art, like any art form, whether it be music or podcasting or journalism or professional wrestling or sports. It just, people only care about the top. And it's just like, well, your feeder programs are struggling to get up there too because our economy is tough. It's hard to keep for people to
Sure.
start doing stuff. It's not easy.
It's definitely not easy. It's Look,
Especially if you want your content to look and sound good, it's definitely not easy. Any jabroni can turn a camera on and go live on YouTube and make a content and talk into a tin can. But when you invest in yourself and you put as much effort and time into it as other people do and prep, and you can tell the people who don't prep and you can tell the people who actually put effort into their content, and it just it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's and it sucks to be part of it. You know how many different podcasts I get invited to come on, and then I go look at their stuff. I'm like, I'm not going on that show.
I don't get invited to a lot, shockingly. Everybody wants to be on mine. Oh boy, when I say I'm looking for a guest, I get 30, 40 wrestlers and I get about 50 podcasters. I'm like, boy, if you guys knew who I was, where was my invite? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I love you, bro. You've been an inspiration. I was like, where was your hand extension to say like I just made a Facebook group. Every day I'm deleting people's stuff out of my group. And they're like, well, why are you deleting our stuff? I was like, well, don't you have a group? Yeah. Have you ever shared my content and yours? No. Then don't put your stuff here.
Listen,
I'm willing to work together, but it's not going to be this whole ABJ helps everybody, but nobody helps ABJ is
right.
done.
No,
Like,
I'm gonna show you. Listen, where's my groups? Hold on. Groups. So,
bro, I used to give people my StreamYard access. I used to give people every bit of advice I can get, and it would get me blocked after 6 months because I would say like, hey man, I would try to do this. Dude, we're at a point now where if you look at especially the Northeast scene, a lot of these podcasters are starting to close a lot of doors for people who are trying to make their way up because they go to these promotions and act like idiots, and they act like they're so unprofessional about the way they go about doing things, whether it be flirting with girls at shows or talking to underage kids or going into places and making it about themselves and not about the promotion that invited them to the door, and it's just shutting doors left and right for people, and it sucks. It sucks.
Stephen Chambers, you always have great takes.
I love Stephen Chambers.
No,
Stephen
he's
Chambers
great.
Man.
I
hang out with that dude like every single night.
Let me tell you what's crazy about what you said. I go to a lot of these conventions, as you know, right? And it's crazy. Perfect example. I get to Legends of Hamburg, right? Root is setting up. They're set up for Nation of Domination. Kira gets to my table. We're right across from each other. They set us up perfectly. I walk into the building, and Mark Henry stops me. Tantalizing. I'm like, what's up, Mark? Yo, man, so proud of you. Dave LaGreca, talking to Al Snow. Stops talking to Al Snow, comes give me a hug. Tony, doing great, man. I'm in the chat all the time. I'm on the low. So proud of you. You're doing so good. Gabby from Busted Open, the producer, loves me, like so great. Like so many people came up to me and were like, you're doing great. Like LaGreca's like, be patient. I know you're so impatient. You should be further than you are, and you should be. You're so good. It's coming. And I was watching people. I was just watching other podcasters there. And by the way, Savage is killing it. By the way, he's doing a good job with Marty Jannetty. But there were other people there that, and Savage one of the loud, abrasive ones, of course, we know. But listen, he is who he is. But there were other people there, and they were coming up to me like, "Hey, man, I'd love for you to do something for me. I'd love for you to do this." Like 8 different people. Oh, no problem. What you? I said, what are you gonna do for me? I never talked that way. But like at this point, like, how come I gotta do something for you? We should be doing something for each other, right? I should help you, should help me. Listen, me and you have had our differences. Never buried you once, right? Still promote your stuff. Vice versa. Grown men are gonna disagree. Grown men are not gonna get along all the time. Where's the respect factor in this business? It's gone.
I give it if I get it.
Yeah, see, I give it all the time, but I don't get it. You know, I got Hall of Famers talking crap about me. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, we'll leave that for another day.
Well, that Hall of Famer is probably a big giant piece of trash. If we're talking about the same person, right?
Listen, I don't know. I'm not gonna disparage anybody. I will say this: I'm not hard to find. I'm a grown man. I'm not trying to wrestle anybody. You want to step to me, step outside like, oh, geez. That wrestling ain't going to mean nothing to you with these two ham hocks and the story. Know what I mean? But it's no need even go there. But all that being said, man, I want to say this to you. And guys, if you thought this was an NXT stream, we just killed that. You guys want to see good show. Dominik was there.
We're bringing back old school tantalizing ABJ conversation here.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say that, keep doing what you're doing. Keep your content going. You're always welcome here. Because I like that we don't agree. That's one thing I do like about Ricky too. Ricky might seem like a jabroni in the chat, but
he's better on camera than he is in the chat.
Yeah,
because I think his chats get lost.
He trolls in the chat. He's a troll. But on camera, he's great because I don't want to agree with you. Agreeing with each other doesn't make any. It's not even stimulating. It's not. Who wants to watch everybody? Oh, this is great. Nobody cares. But I wanted to ask you this. So, what do you think about The Rock coming back? Let me ask you a question for WrestleMania. Let's jump into WrestleMania because I wanted to get your take. For WrestleMania, do we see Rock Roman? Do we see CM Punk at Mania? Do we see Cody finish the story? All those questions in any order you
want. Cody has to be sweating a little bit right now because if Cody thought he was finishing the story at Mania and now The Rock is showing up, who knows? I still don't think The Rock is going to come at WrestleMania. I think The Rock, my opinion, I think it was a handshake deal, brother, which I agree with. I think the way that story played out, it looked like that story should have been Rock Roman. And then after Mania, how's the Bloodline story been after Mania?
Not as good. Yeah.
Because they had it all wrapped up. That was it. And now they have to stretch it out. And it's struggling very hard. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says. If you still think this Bloodline stuff's entertaining, you're crazy. And if, like, I know someone said in the chat earlier that AEW storylines week to week are terrible and WWE. If you think WWE's are better, you're high. You're high because it's boring as hell. There's no story right now that's compelling. I love Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I don't care. I don't like what they're doing. I don't care about like. There's not one. You know what story right now I care about that I think is actually decent, and I love how they're working all these Mark fans. Welcome back, Nia. What a great move up. Who else is going to be the person who challenges Rhea? Rhea's been dominating everybody, so you got to bring in the tough girl in right now. She's unsafe, Tony, and she hurts everybody. The guy who was just ranked number 1 in PWI has more injuries under his belt than Nia Jax does, and he's still the greatest wrestler in the world. This isn't like injuries happen. This is pro wrestling. This isn't tiddlywinks. Nia Jax and I got in an argument the other night in my Discord about this. Nia Jax is a large character. Now that's not body shaming. That's not saying anything negative. I love Nia Jax. I'm a Nia Jax fan, but she's a larger, imposing character. If you, as a larger character, go out there and throw bullshit shots or lightweight shots or lightweight yourself and make yourself look because you're hesitant, you're not credible, right?
Right.
And if you are a big person and you get hit with something that isn't solid, their instinct in this business is to what, Tony? If you go out and soft punch a giant in the ring, what happens to you?
You're gonna catch a receipt. Number one,
not even a receipt. They have to kill you because they have to protect their character.
And not to mention, you gotta realize how smart the fans are nowadays. Fans are not stupid.
Yes, they are.
No. I mean,
yes,
no. I mean, the aspects of the smart fans not stupid.
Yes, they are. Even the ones who think they're smart, bro. When they came out and said that now Rhea Ripley's legit hurt, and so is Raquel Rodriguez, and so is this person, so is that person. They legit think that they're all hurt.
I honestly said this in the chat. There is no way.
I hate to break kayfabe for everybody watching. They're not hurt.
They're not.
They're working you all.
They're
making you hate Nia because if you hate Nia, and you're gonna cheer more for Rhea, and Rhea's stock's gonna go up more because she took out the evil Nia Jax.
I said the same thing, and I said it to Ricky. Ricky's like, "Oh, they need her back. She's hurt them. She's out. They're working you all." Viking tease, Rhea is not hurt. It's a work.
It's part of the storyline, brother.
Was the bonsai drop a little tough? Yeah.
Listen, Steven Richards is part of the business. He knows people watches him. Jim Cornette he's part of the business. If Jim Cornette did everything that he's supposed to say, he still wants you to watch wrestling. He still, even though he hates on most wrestling, he wants you to go watch it. You know why? Because he wants you to come back and listen to his take on it. It's all at work. Stop being silly.
Yeah.
But also enjoy the business. But it's, you know, and here's the thing. They're going to make Nia this monster that everyone's going to hate, which is going to raise Rhea Ripley. And you know how you flip Nia Jax and make her the greatest babyface again in the company? Team her back up with Alexa Bliss. And then there'll be a tag team babyface and everybody will love them. Or even make them heel again and bring Alexa back as the old school bratty Alexa. Rhea's taking time off because she deserves it. She's been holding it down. But she's not going to be gone long. This is just to play a storyline.
Maybe she might be back on Raw next week. She's on vacation with Buddy Matthews. Nia, Viking tease. Yes, Nia's not okay. Look, has Nia made? Let's remember this, guys. You guys have to go back to when Nia worked at NXT. They brought her up pretty quickly. They brought her up,
which they do to every big person in the business. You name a 6 foot tall, over 6'7" person, they get rushed. You're not allowed to train because they have to strike while the iron's hot because you're a big guy. And a lot of big guys or girls in this business do not get trained properly.
And she's not dangerous. Mistakes happen. So I guess Ridge Holland's dangerous too. He broke Big E's neck.
The difference is between the big, like, if you come in and you're a soft ass big guy or a soft ass big girl, you're not believable. And you get shuffled to the back. Like Omos when he first came in. He could not make himself, even though he was huge, but he didn't come off as imposing. Because you know what they tried to do to make him look imposing? They gave him a skull crush. That doesn't do anything. Now, if Omos came in and started giving lariats and clothesline from hells and crazy big boots, he'd be killing people. But I guarantee they'd be probably snug because he's still like figuring things out. Nia Jax, listen, and once at the end of the day, if you're a big person, you throw a Shane McMahon punch where it looks fake as hell, you lost your character. And that's the only thing you have as a big person is your strength and your imposingness. So Nia has to go out in there and do that. I've talked to people who did enhancement talent when Nia was doing all those squash matches, and the girl went out there and got her ass kicked and came back and she said like, yo, Nia was the nicest person ever to her and was thankful for letting her beat her up like that. But like, that's what you have to do as a big person in the business. Every single wrestler has their own style and they all have their own ice cream flavor and they have to do what their job is to do. And if you're out there taking ass whooping, you're out there to take an ass whooping. And that's what Nia is supposed to do. Nia punched Becky in the face. It's not a shocker, but also you have to realize when women go out there and wrestle, they have to be glammed up. Their hair has to be down. Like they can't put their hair back and square up and do what they got to do. They can't do what the guys do and grease their hair up so they can see through it and they can quick snap it back. They're literally going out there with curls and extensions and braids and their hair's in their face. So when they went out there and scrapped, Becky, go back and watch it. Becky's hair's in her face, Nia's hair's in her face, and they're locked horns like old school.
Yeah.
What's his name? The Japanese one, where they just lock horns and hit each other. Like they went in and beat the shit at each other, and Nia caught her with one. But here's the thing: if two people go out and work strong style, let's go back to Japan. Let's go to Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay kicked Kenny Omega in the face and swelled his eyes shut. Did anyone call Will Ospreay dangerous? No, they gave him props because he works stiff and works strong style. So if you work strong style as a male and you go out there and when Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly went out there and broke each other's orbitals and jaws and killed each other at NXT, it was praised as one of the best matches in the most recent times because they went out there and had a legit shoot fight and put a great show on. But if a girl lands a tough shot on the really pretty girl, because at what point in time do we get rid of the women's stigma and just let them do what the guys do? Because that's why we're holding women's wrestling back. Because if someone goes out there and works stiff or strong or tough, they're dangerous. And I just think it's a terrible double standard. And that's why a lot of women don't hit the same level as a lot of men because of those double standards exist.
Let's not forget
that punch in the face made Becky more money anything in her career.
And trust me, Becky is not crying. This made Becky the man. This made Becky who she is. Everything that happened with that punch gave Becky the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay, guys? So, and Nia is a star. And yeah, has she made mistakes? Yeah, she's made mistakes. Who hasn't? I don't know if anybody in this chat has wrestled. I have. I have legitimately hit people in the face accidentally, and I wrestle really. I'm snug. I hit you. Look, I'm a short guy, but I'm stocky. When I put a clothesline on you, oh, you're catching that in the chest, bro. You're hearing the meat slap. You're hearing the meat slap
because you're a smaller guy and you have to make your shots look and sound good.
Yeah, because I'm not believable to be. When I fight a guy 6'2", I gotta hit this dude. He's gonna hit me. I take it.
That's pro wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. Nia Jax is not unsafe. So I get tired. Oh, she doesn't need to be here. Yeah,
she's not legit going out there and fist fighting people and trying to go out there and hurt them. She's going out and doing her job. It's not on her if someone gets hurt from a bump. That's part of this business.
It happens all the time. Look, Finn Balor still using the 7-year gimmick from when he got his shoulder separated from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins made it so Sting was almost done. You know,
Seth Rollins put John Cena's nose over here.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, when I say that comparison, people are like, "Well, you hate Seth Rollins." I love Seth Rollins.
He's
I said a couple months ago that Seth Rollins is the best wrestler in the world, and when we did our end of the year predictions, I said he was the best wrestler. I gave him number 1 before PWI did. I'm just saying. I still think that PWI list was a little off. I think they just try to make the Shield 1, 2, and 3. I don't know how you watch wrestling this year and don't give MJF the number 2 spot.
Yeah, he should be way out. And I'm sorry, guys. To me, Moxley's overrated. I don't know.
Well, I love Moxley, but I don't think Moxley had a better year than MJF.
I don't think he's number 3. You know,
not MJF killed it this year. He killed it. MJF killed it this year.
Yeah, he did great. Not to mention, I think who else was kind of low? I guess Omega being hurt.
Dude, they forgot people on the list. Like, there's people who like they put their tag team partners in, but not them. Like, it's essentially as if we, as wrestling fans, got so popular we made our own list. That's essentially what PWI. I don't hate PWI. I like PWI. I think it's cool that they built up enough reputation for themselves and work hard enough that people actually listen to what they say. But it's not like a panel of people. It's the PWI.
Two guys.
I met the guy who I did a ring announcing job and was in the ring with the guy who writes the PWI 500 at a show. But kind of tying it back in NXT. So Becky Lynch goes down and wins the title, right? People are upset by that.
Everybody's mad. And let me give you my take on that real quick. You tell me if I'm wrong. First of all, this is my first thing. Becky Lynch was the only horsewoman that did not get the NXT title. At some point, you had to give it to her. At some point, she needed that to be a Grand Slam champion. She made it in WrestleMania. She got to be a Grand Slam champion. In the story with that one. That's number 1. Number 2, here's my attitude with everybody. Oh my God, Becky Lynch is going in and taking a spot from somebody. First of all, everybody, she's not taking anybody's spot. This is one of the most popular wrestlers on the planet, arguably one of the better 4 horsewomen that's been the most consistent, that hasn't left except for having a baby, okay? Never cried about her contract, never left for vacation for 8 months, didn't get injured. And when she did get injured, she came right back. She wanted to fight with her broken face. And after she had a baby, came right back. She has one of the banger matches against Trish Stratus in a freaking steel cage. Why would you not want her on your show? Kind of funny that the week before Becky Lynch came on, 600,000. Next week, 850.
Mm-hmm.
They're crying.
I think there's a lot of very talented women in NXT right now, but I think a lot of those talented women are having a hard time getting to that next step. I think a lot of those women are having a hard time getting to where they were. Once again, I'm not throwing shade. I'm not throwing hate. But if Mandy Rose goes down to NXT and makes herself a megastar, can we remember Mandy Rose when she was the small fish in the big pond on the main roster? She went down to NXT and made herself a megastar. They need someone down there to help that division, to help that brand that brings in that star power. Now, here's my only complaint. If Becky comes down and wins the title so she can just say she put it on her resume and then immediately drops it for no reason the next pay-per-view, then I have a problem with it, because that's been the NXT trope. Let's send someone down because they're going to enhance, they win a title, they drop it immediately, and then they never build up a storyline that makes the next person in line seem relevant. Like, Braun Breaker was killing it, but Braun Breaker never had that win over anyone relevant to make himself hit that next. Like, if Braun Breaker got called up tomorrow, nobody's going to care.
Nope.
because he hasn't hit that next level yet. NXT hasn't hit that next level yet. NXT still needs those people to hit that next level. Dom is kind of doing it because if people hate him so much, they want to see him go get beat up, and he's helping people in that aspect, but he's still baby and he's still young and he's still doing his thing. Like when AJ went down, I wish AJ stayed longer. If there's nothing for you to do on the main roster, go down and help the next people. Right now, there's nothing for Becky to do on the main roster. So go down and help out. Now, it's almost like they knew a contract was coming up too, huh? So Becky Lynch goes down to NXT and wins the title. And in that next week, the biggest rising star in professional wrestling, and I don't care what you think about her. I don't care what you said. I was the biggest critique of her, saying, "Hey, you don't learn the business while you're a champion." And everything about her work ethic proved everyone wrong, because she said to herself, "Hey, Regal, Brian, can you come to the ring and help me out before the show start?" And Regal and Bryant will go down there and roll with them and figure things out and help her get better. And she learned and she learned and she learned. And then Regal went back to NXT. And then the Punk thing happened. And she never signed that contract. And now they say, hey, Becky Lynch is the NXT champion.
Yep.
Would it be interesting if the big rising star Jade Cargill just busts the door at NXT?
It takes the title.
And becomes that NXT champion that we miss in an Asuka, in a Shayna Baszler, where she just does not lose. And what that does, well, Becky already passes the torch to a Jade Cargill. Now people say, well, she just came in. It's the business, baby. When someone's bigger than you and has more star power and has more followers,
they jump the line.
They jump the line. Logan Paul did it. Everybody did it, but it brings people into the business. But when Jade goes in there and has that monster run, you're going to force that women's roster to get better. And you're going to force that women's roster to say, who's going to be the girl to beat Jade? Because AEW dropped the ball on that. I love Kris Statlander, one of my favorites. But her beating her and then her beating her last week, nobody cared because it was not built up properly. It was a rush storyline. But if NXT wants to play a smart division and make their women's division look impressive, you bring in Jade, you have her beat Becky, or even chase Becky for a little bit. Then whoever the next person is to beat Jade Cargill is going to be your next megastar. Then you move Jade Cargill up to main roster. And now you have the Biancas. Now you have the Rhea Ripleys. Now you have the Nia Jaxes. You have the Charlotte Flairs. You have these names that Jade can go and mix it up with, but let her get her shine and work that NXT roster first.
Do you think that Becky Lynch with the open challenge thing is it something they're doing?
It's too obvious. It has to be. I'm very high on what's her name? Stratton. I think she's very good, but she still is trying to figure things out, and she doesn't have that star power. People are not tuning their TVs on to see her yet. Nobody right now, the women's roster doesn't have that. Who do I turn on to watch every week? Carmelo Hayes is a little bit of that.
People were turning on to watch Mandy Rose. That's not a lie.
But here's the thing. But looking back, Mandy Rose is good. But Mandy Rose is Mandy Rose. Like, let's not forget what Mandy Rose was able to do when she was on the main roster. She struggled. Yeah, so if she went down to NXT and did her thing, that just goes to show you, if you're willing to put the work in, you can grow. It can be done. You know what I mean? But I just think it's I think it's too soon if Jade wins the Rumble. I would keep Jade away from that main roster because I think you need to let it rock a little bit. But I think she needs to go down there and be a dominant champ for a year and a half at least, and make herself look amazing, and then move up. I would actually do the same thing that with Asuka or Shayna Baszler, where like she maybe just is undefeated and goes, I don't need this title, and throws it away and moves to the main roster, like something like that. She has, but like she's a star power, man. Like there's not girls who look like that. She's Black China.
She's Black China. She is.
And then you have Rhea Ripley right there. It's just like, I mean, Raquel Rodriguez is another one too. But Raquel, like, what makes Raquel stand out?
Her height.
Her height. She's strong. But we already have 3 of those. But they have better personalities and charisma that get over more. So Rhea, she has to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not wrong, bro. And look, if you saw Jade, let me ask you a question. Did Jade have a different feel to you when she came down at Dynamite? Or was it whatever show that was? That Collision? Whatever show that was. Was that Collision when she saved Statlander?
Yeah.
she looked like look at this. She looks like a star.
She's good. She knows how to talk on the mic. She has a look. Her wrestling has to catch up. But at the end of the day, you don't need to be like it's like building an RPG character, right? So you get your charisma points, you get your strength, you get your intelligence, you get all that. If your wrestling's a 2, but your charisma is a 10, you will make money in this business.
Yep. It's true.
You can't teach charisma. Either you get that or you don't. But you can teach someone how to become a wrestler.
You can. Trust me. I've seen it. I've seen it. But if you have that it factor, if you got that, look, that's why
you don't have a body like Jade if you don't have a work ethic. So she already shows she has a work ethic that she's going to go to the gym and put the work in to make her body look like that. She's going to put the work in to make herself a good wrestler.
Look, I watched her. Look, I was very hard on her. But as I watched as she progressed, she got better. She really did.
I just think it's funny that all these like the people show their bias too of like hating on her, but now the second that they scream WWE in her name, then they're like, we love her, she's gonna be amazing. It's like,
yeah,
keep consistent. Keep consistent.
Look, my friend, if you came to listen to the NXT deal, we apologize. It didn't happen.
We brought it back to NXT with that right there.
A little bit.
I told you we would.
We know there we go. A little this invitational,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who that guy on the right is.
Coffey ended up winning. He's gonna go.
That's Coffey? Oh my god, he looks so different.
This was a good match. Butch won this one. So it's Butch versus Coffey next week. I don't know what's going on with Roxanne Perez. I think they're dropping the ball with her. Lola Vice, not too big on her. This was a good match. Dominik has come leaps and bounds.
Yes, I agreed.
And of course, CM Punk. They put.
What are they doing with Thea Hale right now? Are they still working with her?
So yeah, so right now they give her a makeover. They're doing like because she's like tired of being called a little girl, so they're putting her in dresses and stuff like that. But
Thea Hale, I'm telling you right now, I told Tony this when he was hating on NXT and said I'm not watching it. I was telling him early, so that girl's gonna be amazing.
No, and I like her a lot.
Her charisma's through the roof, and her wrestling's not bad either.
I wanted her to beat Tiffany Stratton in that last pay-per-view. I was rooting for her. Really, I wanted her to win so bad.
Yeah, you got to get the sympathy factor behind her because that's the move for her. Just get that sympathy factor.
See, Henry, this is so true. NXT does showcase women better than the main roster. He's right about that.
You know what company showcases the women better than anybody?
Impact Wrestling. Yep. Their Impact 1000. I didn't even know it was in New York. They need to promote better because I would have went to that show.
I may have an Impact wrestler coming on my podcast soon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then.
I'll just give you.
Oh, okay. I got a few people coming on the show. I got Bill Alfonso coming on soon.
Ooh, I just interviewed Ricardo Rodriguez.
He's a nice guy.
Very nice guy. Very good.
I
found out about him via my interview. I'll give you a little spoiler here. You know that he just wasn't a ring announcer?
Yeah.
He was he was talent help.
Yeah, I know.
He would go side by side with William Regal and say, hey, we're going to bring this guy in. Ricardo, go roll with him. I want to see what he has. And he helped people get better.
He's good. He's really good.
You know who, I'll give you another spoiler. You know who he said?
He has a school.
Yeah, his school's doing very well. I have a lot of people saying that a lot of good things about Three Legacy Wrestling. I can't wait. But I asked him, I said, you had an opportunity to physically roll with people, and who are people that you said, boy, they're really good, they're going to become something? And he said 2 names. He said one of them is, I think, one of the better performers I've ever seen, and I think he's super talented. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. And the other one is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is a name that he got to work early on in his career and help him get to where he needs to be. A lot of early Roman Reigns was through Ricardo Rodriguez, but when the cameras weren't turned on. But he says, Ricardo Rodriguez, in the podcast interview, Xavier Woods is one of the most skilled people he's ever been in the ring with.
He's great.
Yeah.
People don't realize how good Austin Creed is. He's great. I think it's him being undersized holding him back. I don't know what it is, but
he's jacked. He's tall. He's not tall, but he's got some meat on him.
Yeah, he's got meaty meat. He really does. He does. Yeah. Oh God. I got Bill Alfonso coming.
I love that interview. I have a whistle. I have one of his whistles.
So do I. He gives us a lot of merch. I'm gonna do some giveaways. I got Marty Jannetty for a full hour.
Wow.
He's gonna tell the dirt, bro.
I mean, what can he tell you that he hasn't already said?
He got something else. He got something else.
Is it credible?
Yeah, it's credible. Yeah.
You're gonna be involved in a police case if you're not careful.
Listen, bro, I didn't do it. Dave LaGreca's gonna be on.
Love that.
Dave LaGreca. I can't wait for that one. Still working on Mark Henry. He said yes.
Mark Henry's is a 3 Legacies announced the main event.
Yeah. Mark Henry said yes, so we just gotta work it out. A few other things coming too. A certain WWE Hall of Famer is going to be on the show too. I can't say his name yet.
If I went to Hamburg, I would have had an interview with a WWE Hall of Famer. I wasn't able to make it.
Who?
Johnny Rods.
Oh wow! And I didn't get. It's so crazy. I was so busy because I know Johnny Rods from Brooklyn.
I interviewed a lot of Johnny Rods' students, and he was like retweeting unpromptedly, just retweeting my stuff on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, I went to Johnny Rods' gym in Brooklyn back in 94. I was there for like 2 months. He's a great guy, and let me tell you, bro, he'll stretch you. He'll stretch you.
A lot of names came out of that school.
Yeah,
he's right good. Now. One of the top females in the company right now came out of Gleason's gym. Masha Slamovich.
Oh, Slamovich, yeah,
that's a Rods girl.
Yeah, because I used to box too, and that Gleason gym was a boxing gym. So yeah,
Big Bill is Big Bill had one of the best performances I've seen in his career list this week with him and Ricky Starks. Bill looked awesome.
They had to change that name. That Big Bill name sucks, bro.
See, I didn't like it either, but Bill is actually a tribute to his trainer, who I actually work with on a consistent basis. Cowboy Billy Walker is the guy who trained him and broke him in.
Listen, to me, they're just wasting him because he's such a talent. He can talk. He can listen. Hey, listen, another thing, Dave LaGreca is special refereeing a match between Enzo and Bully Ray. I
don't care.
I'm going to this show for a reason.
You had me halfway. Oh, Enzo? Oh, he's entertaining. Then you lost me on the other counterpart.
Listen,
I don't give a shit what Bully Ray does. Billy Ray just put a comment out about telling what they need to be doing better in AEW, and I was like, how about stop booking Bully Ray in main event pictures and let actually companies work with their talent. Boy, I want to see Bully Ray versus the owner of NXT. Boy, put that on a main event. Who cares? Scott D'Amore versus Bully Ray.
How about we get a tantalizing Tony versus Bully Ray? That works for me. I'd shock a lot of people.
Yeah.
Look, I got to listen. We know how wrestling works, and of course, this guy, I got to do the job. No problem. I'm a professional. But let me tell you something. They'd be like, "Yo, he's running circles around this dude." Oh God. Anyway, look, you're welcome anytime, bro. You know.
Yeah. If you need someone to bounce off of, I'm always here. Just shoot me a message.
Yeah, we've been having.
I got nothing going on. I know tomorrow. Pretty much every day this week I have an interview either around 7 or 8 o'clock. But if you shoot me a message and you need somebody, I'll jump on right after I'm done my interview. None of my stuff's live anymore. It's all pre-recorded.
Got you. Tomorrow I have an appointment. I got something big going on. I actually have a meeting about some things happening. But there's some.
But I have 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, I'm done all my recordings for the rest of the year, and then every piece of content I make now to the end of the year is just personal fun. Got you.
Yeah, I got some stuff. I got some stuff in the bank. Yeah, I haven't put out yet. I still got stuff from SummerSlam. You know, I put one of Mikey's videos up. I put the Mikey video up with Dominik Mysterio. Got like 40,000 views. I got some stuff with Ricochet. I got some stuff. I haven't got approval yet, but I have a video with Tony Khan. Well, excuse me, with Nick Khan.
Oh wow.
It's only 32 seconds, but he actually talked to me about something. I don't know if I can put it up.
You're learning, brother. I remember back in the day, you used to get pissed at me, like, "Why are you not telling the stuff that you know?" And I'm like, "Cause it's not. You gotta handle things differently when you get fed information. Like I can't just jump and be Sean Ross Sapp.
I knew, just so you know, I had 3. I can say it now. I had 3 finishes. I knew the 3 main events at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. I was back there. I saw a lot of paper. I knew what was going on. And if I wanted to, I could have spoiled everything. But then
it only ruined you.
They ruined you. Yeah. It ruined you.
What's going on, Graves?
Love you,
Graves
Graves.
in the chat.
Yeah, SummerSlam was a great experience, bro. To be backstage there, bro, it's a machine. We got back there at the right time. Bro, Michael was a star. That kid, gotta put him on the banners. He met Seth Rollins, Chad Gable. Did the shoes please? I didn't put that up yet. Did the shoes please with Chad, Dominik, Ricochet, Big E, AJ Styles.
Speaking of wrestlers, do you see who was caught walking into the Performance Center yesterday or today?
I hear voices in my
He's never gonna wrestle again.
Look, he's getting ready for Survivor Series, everybody. Okay.
Well, I told you, when they start reporting that they're never gonna wrestle again, they're close.
Yeah, he's getting ready for Survivor
They're
Series.
keeping their name out there.
Look, this is I can say this. With the writer strike going on, people have no work right now. That's why The Rock's hanging out. That's why Cena's hanging out. But
honestly, I think if they're smart at this point, I think if they want to do business right, The Rock turns around and says, "I'm not getting my WrestleMania moment." Rock and Roman is not a WrestleMania match anymore. If you didn't do it in LA, you're not doing it in Philly. Sorry, you had your opportunity. You couldn't get the deal done. I actually wanted to allude to this earlier and we got off track. I think The Rock wants to do old school business, and I don't think WWE wants to do the old school business. I think The Rock wants to go out there and win the first one. He wants to Hulk Hogan this. He wants to win the first one, and then he wants to trade with Roman. I don't think he wants to go out and take a loss and go home and disappear again. I think he wants to won it. But I also think that The Rock will take his one win, and then you'll never get him again.
I disagree with that. I don't think Rock will Hulk Hogan it. I don't.
You never know.
I don't think so.
He didn't show up for his own tribute show. That's all I'm saying.
But
I think that's essentially probably what happened. Is Rock was like, "Well, I'll win this one, brother, but I'll give it back to you next pay-per-view." I think this happens earlier, and then I think Mania has to go into a different direction. I don't think the Bloodline has enough legs in the story to stretch this out until Mania.
Yeah, unless they pull off something miraculous, but we'll see as time goes on. But I do think we see Batista back too. I think we see Batista Orton. I really do.
I think Batista will come in and do something where he'll do a bit for like the Hall of Fame. I don't think you'll see him wrestle.
I do. I think Batista has one more in him. But whatever. That's another story for another time. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Anthony Blackwood Jr. all social media. Right now my content is only on YouTube. I'm not doing the streaming on every platform. I'm just trying to build one platform up. I was getting close to 800 and then I lost a bunch of subscribers, so I have no idea what's happening there. But I pretty much have content coming out every single Thursday at midnight. So if you want to check out a new episode, it's all coming out. Devontae is next week. I pretty much have all the episodes for the year recorded. Just got a couple more to record, but we have a lot of cool stuff coming up. Just interviewing independent talent, and then maybe after a couple of weeks, I'll start bringing out some move reviews and some other content that's not wrestling related. So, or maybe you see me come and chat and watch some wrestling again with Tantalizing Tony.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. Is that England? Or is that your house? Is that your area?
That's my area.
Gotcha.
That's where I live now. I'm back home. So just to kind of catch people up, I went from losing my car and losing my job, then to losing my wife and going through a divorce and then moving back home. And just for the last 4 or 5 months, man, just been broken trying to rebuild my life. So that's why I haven't really been live and doing a lot, but it is what it is, right? You got to pick yourself up.
This too shall pass.
Let's hope so.
It will. Listen, I'm going through it too. We all go through these times where you're like, what? I don't need this right now.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't know, man. Like, that's why when I see, I'm not trying to be bitter, but when I see content creators going out there and fucking half-assing this, I'm sorry for cursing, but like, I literally drove my car into the ground and fucking chased this dream and drove all over the place and try to do what I do. And then people just like bullshit their way through this content thing and then try to say to me that they're doing the same thing I'm doing. It's like, no, you're not. Shut the fuck up.
It's even worse when you're working so hard and these guys that are not as good as you are doing so much better than you. Like, what? Are you,
bro? Kidding? I'm not even close with subscribers yet. Not even close. You're gonna tell me my interviews aren't better than some of these other people out here?
I agree. I think a lot of your content's better than mine. I just get on. See, I do things. I'm different. I have a different program than you have.
Yeah,
So,
and honestly, that's like I know. I'm not saying with anyone that this style of content's easier because it's not. I did watch alongs. It's hard as hell to do them by yourself. It's boring. It gets frustrating.
oh,
But there's so many people doing it that I wanted to be different. You know what I mean? I could have easily chased all these names for the connections I made. I just haven't cashed in on them yet. I'm slowly doing it now, but it's just like. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to interview this independent talent, right? And it's like, oh, cool, I'm interviewing this guy. And then they don't promote it and they don't really care. But then they get the big name and they're like, oh my God, I got the big name. And then your people go, well, why should I care about the 3 small interviews you did if you were going harder in the paint for your big names? Like I try to keep consistent with every single one of my guests and everything. Like, I don't know. It's tough. It's a hard road to travel. Struggling artists crying about their stuff, right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
They should care because one day we need to do a show just on how hard content creating is. We'd be here for hours, bro. It's hard. Editing's hard. Thank God I have Kira. Thank you, God.
I need a Kira.
Listen, everybody needs a Kira. That's a t-shirt right there.
Yeah.
So I tell you, I got the Facecam Pro.
Oh, you got it?
You haven't changed any of the settings yet, but it's really good.
I gotta figure out my lights. I hate how harsh the red is. Like the blue looks good, but the red looks terrible.
See, but I need to see. Look how dark that is. I need to. This light here is way too bright, and I haven't changed the settings on. Look at this.
Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'll tell you when. Keep going. One more.
See, it's dark.
Up one.
See,
and then I would maybe just kick your ISO or your shutter speed down a hair.
Yeah, I could tell it's weird, but I haven't done any of that on my camera.
It looks better now than it did before.
This camera does so much. My God,
I didn't like the blurred background. I think you put a lot of work into your background. Why blur it out? Back in the day when you were using a DSLR camera.
Yeah, that's why I like it better because you can see everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blurred background I was trying different things.
Yeah, that's a cool photo effect, but like I feel like if you're going live and you have a lot of stuff to showcase in the back, like dude, I opened all my figures. I said I came home and I was like everything. They were all in boxes. You used to see them. I opened all of them, dude. I have like a $200 figure that I opened that people in my Discord were crying about. I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. I'm opening it.
Yeah. Did you see the Nation of Tantalization title? Did you see it?
I see them online. I didn't see the Nation of Domination ones either.
Yeah. Well. Ruda killed it as he always does, but
did you get them all to sign it?
So he unveils this to me, surprises me, right? Nation of Tantalization, and yes, all 4 signed it.
That's sick.
Signed it on the deal here.
I love that. I wanted one of those Nation shirts, but I couldn't make it.
No, we'll get you one, bro.
Yeah,
we'll hook you.
I love the Nation of Domination, man. That was one of my favorite stables,
bro. That was my favorite stable, and my dream in life was to get to do the pose, like I've always wanted to. And bro, when I got to get in there,
was that your photo that they took that went viral all over the place? Like,
yeah,
every Facebook face was using the one photo of them in Hamburg.
Yeah, probably. I took a lot of good pictures. As did Kira. I mean, just look at this, bro. Let me see if I can I get this any bigger? That's wrong. It's smaller. Like, just look at that.
I met 2 out of 4. I met D-Lo and Godfather.
But just look, man. Jeez. And then let me tell you, this one, that was a great picture, but this one here is great as well. Look at Mike.
Love
so
that.
Good. Like he doesn't even, my oldest son, Anthony, called me. He's like, does Michael realize what pictures he's in?
I mean, listen, there's 3 amazing legends at that table, but I mean, he's sat next to fucking Farouk. Like Farouk, baby. Like I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get out. I got to
This
get
is your
out there.
store.
Not my store. It's just they help me out. I got to get out to Philly soon. Actually, I just talked to him today. I got to get out there. We got to figure something out.
Gotcha.
I might be moving there sooner than expected because I can't find work.
It's tough, bro.
Yeah.
Look, bro, it's always a pleasure seeing you here, my friend. You're welcome anytime. You know that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Well, I'll let you know. I'd love to come and join for Raws, but I just don't have a way to watch Raw right now live. So once I figure out how I can make a couple bucks and maybe pay for Hulu for a month and just go month to month with live TV just so I can watch it. Join my Patreon. Support, buy some merchandise and t-shirts. If you want me back on Tantalizing, I'm just do it. If you want me back on Tantalizing Tony doing watch-alongs, then help your boy. Throw some cash, throw some pay. I'm never one to ask for PayPals or donations or Venmos, but throw a couple bucks and I swear I will use it for Hulu and I'll be back and I'll do some more watch alongs with Tantalizing Tony because I got nothing else going on in my life. Look, I got 3 members. Your boy's making after the taxes come out, I make about $8 there.
We'll figure it out. We'll see if because I got a few people that have some Hulu. They have a family plan on Hulu, the live TV.
Yeah, but once you do the live TV, like I have to put my zip code in because they're tracking who's using accounts where. It's all I used to have Hulu and I used to try to give it to people and it doesn't work.
Don't worry, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, well, yeah, but let's get it going, and I'll come back and watch some wrestling. I haven't watched live wrestling. The only thing I watch is AEW because somebody puts it in our Discord.
No,
that's it. That's all I watch.
That's a good thing, bro. Listen, I'm praying for you. Well, you don't care about that, but I hope good things come for you. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for being here, bro. It's a good talk.
No, I appreciate you having me. Sorry if I ruined your NXT show.
Listen, honestly, I watched NXT, but I was out at dinner with the kids. I was watching on the phone, and whatever happened mattered. Becky Lynch and Dominik, all I cared about. Everything else, it was okay.
Yeah,
But I may be here for Dynamite tomorrow. Not sure. I got an appointment at 6:00. But everybody, this is ABJ, Anthony Blackwell Jr. Check him out on all social media platforms and everything else in the multiverse. Wrong thing. Hello, sorry.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey now. That's somebody on my Facebook. You guys, it's in the link, guys. There it is right there. Hit likes, all that stuff. Check him out, guys.
Look at my flatline number right there, just so I can beep. Just dead in the water.
It's all right, bro.
Dead in the water.
You'll be back. All right, guys. You know those spiel. I'm just gonna get out of here and say, stay look at that. Yeah, stay tantalizing. We're out of here, guys. See you next time. Yeah. Let me play my outro. Where's my producer? She's the worst. Don't stop till I wear the crown. Do I do best in that?
Stay tantalizing. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
It's true. It's true.